Okay, for my concrete vanity top, I've used a melamine board. I've cut it to size with using a table saw. I've cut these strips here because I want this to be approximately 2 inches thick. These side rails, taking off for adding on the edge of this, they're going to have to be 2 3/4. Let me see if that's correct. Yeah, 2 3/4. So this is 3/4 inch thick. So that will give me 2 inch concrete. Starting over, I cut this out with a jigsaw, and then I took a sander. I don't know if you've got a belt sander, stand sander, but you can just run it along there and smooth that out, and then cover it with a clear tape all the way around. But I'm getting ahead of myself. You've got to this will be determined by the sink that you're going to mount on this. I'm using an oval undermount sink I bought from a box store. It will come with a template. Anyway, it comes with a template, and you're going to make this piece here according to this template, so that when you mount your sink under your concrete countertop, it'll look nice. I've cut that to those measurements. These side strips are going to be cut 2 3/4 inch thick, so that when they're screwed onto this, you're going to have 2 inches above, because this is 3/4 inch thick. What else? What I'm going to do here, I've lined these up. When you put this all together, like so, I don't know if you can see it, but along the bottom here you're going to have a little seam, and you want to caulk that. That'll also give the vanity top, a nice rounded edge all the way around, and it'll keep concrete from seeping down into little cracks. To caulk that, you're going to put a bead of caulk along here, and then smooth it out either with your finger or this tool. The problem is, when you do that, it will spread excess caulk above and below it, and anything that's on this form will show up in the concrete, and I mean anything. So what we do, we use this blue tape on these boards, and I don't know if you can see that, but I've already had them in here, marked the line that I'm going to put the tape on. That's going to give me about 1/8 here. And the table top, the vanity top, is also marked. No idea what that's doing. But I'm going to take this tape and do that while it's apart. Put this tape on there. It'd be a lot easier than trying to do it after it's assembled. Like I said, I actually have used this one before, so I took it apart. So I'm just going to take this, and along the lines I've drawn here, I'm going to put this blue tape all over the place. Man, what's going on with my throat? I find both ends, and then well, that ain't looking right. My pencil line might be a little bit off. Take this one. I'm going to have to cut some of that off there. that's done. Right here. Let me go like that. And see, cut. This is about 4 inch, 3 inch. But it's still much easier to go this way. See how hard it is. But you'll get this out. Man, oh man. Oh, shoot. All right, come on. More piece. I hope it's a fine start. But it does take a little bit. Alright. So, it's not done. Don't know where I'll cut this off and off of that. Okay, I finally got it all taped. Like I say, so much easier to tape these like this when they're disassembled. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start putting these sides on. Pre-drill the holes and put them in with 1 5/8 inch screws. And go ahead and take it. I did not tape the tabletop when I have to do the tabletop. Alright, here's the tape. This is what I was trying to explain. We're going to caulk these seams right here. And you could just put a bead of caulk in there and smooth it out with your finger. But everywhere that caulk smears, you'll see it in the countertop. We do this to seal off the crack and to give it a nice rounded edge along through here. So I tape it off. What I was trying to say is it's much easier to do that taping when it's disassembled. Okay? So here we are. A little better explaining when I'm not working. There's the piece that I told you. You'll determine that size and shape after you buy your undermount sink, if you want an undermount sink. You can get a drop-in sink, but they'll give you a template and it'll show you what size to cut this and the exact shape. I did it with a jigsaw and it's made out of 2-inch rigid insulation. It comes in a 4x8 sheet. It is $38 for a 4x8 sheet. But anyway, this one's been used before. That's why I said it's kind of, I disassembled one, altered it to a different size, and I'm using it. But you'll glue that, after you cut this to size with a jigsaw, smooth it out on, I use this sander right there. Very easy to do. It's a belt sander. If you're going to do any woodworking, you're going to need something like that. Anyway, after I smooth it out, I put 2-inch clear tape all the way around it, because that'll give you a nice smooth finish. All right, I think we're up to speed. I'm getting ready to caulk it. Forgot to turn the camera on, but anyway, I went ahead and put the caulk in here. I'm going to wet my finger, and we're just going to start somewhere and start smoothing it out. And you need a lot of rise here. I go over and up each line, get the corner. Once you do this, you'll understand the significance of it. taping because it does make a mess. Most of us get too much, use too much caulk. I use black because I want to see that I'm getting everything. And when you have some areas that are thinner than others, you can go back over it like that. Up. I usually will move everything out. I like to figure I've got this tool here, but I don't know. I kind of feel a little better with the fingers. Boy, it is a mess though, so make sure you have plenty of rags. You can see a spot that's a little, missed a little spot there, so give it a dab here. That's what I like about the black. You can see if you've missed it, if you're thin somewhere. I also need to do around here. Before that is your runny caulk. I wasn't prepared for that. It's best to go ahead and take this off before it starts to get. Take this tape off now. Once you're sure you have it, have a little inspection there. You don't want to touch it afterwards. Here, I'm going to try to grab this.
When you start a family, my face and fins are tighter than a set of fiddle strings. Oh man, oh man. And so Chris plays, he is a family, they needed a washer and dryer, and they found a pair, the seller was asking $500. Chris, how cool is that? There's still some really good people out there. You can read the story and see them on my Facebook page, Cherokee Radio. Now at Lowe's, order any flooring like Stainmaster Quikrete carpet, starting at $1.85 per square foot. See a store associated with our page online for warranty information. Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents.
Cloudy with a low in the mid-40s.
Okay, here you go. See the nice even lines, not smeared anywhere. That's going to give a nice finished look to the top when we're done. So we'll let that dry for probably 48 hours. And then we'll clean this real good. And we'll start putting some concrete in it. Oh yeah, don't forget to caulk around here. To reinforce my concrete vanity countertop, I'm using panel I had around here. I'm just going to cut it down to size with a angle grinder. This is a piece I'm going to use. I just took about an inch off of each end of it so that the end of these aren't sticking near the edge of your vanity top. Next I took a Sharpie, laid it over my form, and marked it where it needed to be cut. And again, leave yourself, come back away from where you know the visible edges are going to be so that these don't show through or bleed through. Sometimes they'll rust and bleed through. I don't have bolt cutters, I just do it with bolt cutters. Okay, so I've taken and cut out the portion, so this is going to lay down over the form for my sink. And again, leave about an inch on all the edges so that this is not exposed through the concrete. I then cut rebar to go across this to support, give it some extra support. I used an angle grinder with a metal cutting blade on it. Disc. These will go in across like this. This will all be wired together. Okay, before I put my reinforcement in here and put the concrete in here, it's vital that I put one of these Faucet Knockouts in here. Otherwise, I'd have a vanity top without a faucet. So what I've done, I figured out where this hole needed to be, made my marks here. I'm gonna put a little bit of silicone here and put it on the form. I wish I'd have done that earlier so that this would have been ready to go. This caulk does need, really 24 hours for it to be set up. Don't put a lot on there, don't take a lot. You don't really want that squeezing out along the sides. So I'm going to carefully set it where I want it. And that would be right about there. All right, it's pour day. I went ahead and got the rebar. I went ahead and wire back to this. I cut around the knockout, around the sink. I'm using cattle panel, I think I said before, and I just cut these sections of rebar. Remember, the side that you have down of this form, this is going to be the top. So we're looking at the bottom, and we're not going to set this in here until after we pour this form halfway full of concrete. Then you'll put the form in, then you'll put the rest of the concrete in and screed it over. But you don't want your metal showing through the edges. I've cut it back. I've got a good ½ inch on each side, around the knockout, around the sink, so I'm ready to wire it together. This wire here I think is specific for wiring rebar. Just cut a section about 5 or 6 inches long. Like I say, it doesn't have to be, it's just mainly so it doesn't move around when you're trying to work the concrete. Go under it, pull it tight. All right, I think we're good with that. I'm gonna go ahead and take this out and set it aside. Then I'm going to use alcohol, and I'm going to sweep this out first and then use rubbing alcohol to rub down the form. I said before, anything you get on the form, dust, even marker, pencil, anything on this melamine form will show up on your on the surface. So I recommend you clean it well. Saturate your rag, or better yet, if you have a spray bottle, that would work nice. I'm just getting where I can see just some pencil marks, some silicone caulk marks. Let's clean that off. Let's see, definitely get any dust out of there. I'm seeing this some. You're gonna get one shot at this. A lot of work to go through, and then not be happy with your finished product.
I think this is the perfect consistency. See how it's not sticking to the side, rolling, it's not running. I think that's pretty good consistency. Have of exactly what I told you.
Yeah, that looks good. Kind of a peanut butter thickness. I'm going to go ahead and pour about half of it into this bucket, hopefully without making a mess, and we'll get started. I like to do around these knockouts first. And like I say, try not to move that. I noticed I bumped that and that silicone down, but when I was putting the reinforcement, I know it bumped it. Just take your finger, just keep knocking it down, especially around the edges where you want to see it. See, that's it. I think I'm moving that already. So we want to make sure. I marked some lines. I marked some lines on this so you know you got a reference point. This is getting nice. You'll be able to tell. Let's leaving lines in there. This is still leaving some lines. Not much. Diagonal. Alright, I think in the video last night when I finished up, I forgot to tell you to cover this. The slower this cures, the better. Okay, for this video, I'm going to make the backsplash for the back side of it, and I'll need a piece for the side. So I'm going to have to do the same thing. I'm going to have to form it out of this melamine board and cut sides. The backsplash is only going to be 1 inch thick, so being that this melamine board is 3/4 of an inch thick, I'm going to have to cut strips for the sides that are 1 3/4. So, and then like I said, I'm going to have to make a smaller piece because the left side of the vanity top is up against the wall. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that out. We'll cut it on the table saw, pre-drill and screw it together, tape it. Remember, we've got to tape it, pre-drill it, screw it together, put the rebar in it, and fill it. Almost forgot. Tape it now. Remember where you put your caulk? Go ahead and tape that off with blue painter's tape. What you're going to do, you'll see where they're going to meet. You can put it together and draw the lines, and then just go 1/8 inch above the line. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll be back. How rounded we don't want this, especially on the ends. Okay, when you go ahead and put the sides on, you want to make sure you pre-drill, line everything up nice. I put 1 screw in where everything's flush, and then pre-drill the rest of them. Okay, here's a short piece that goes up against on the side of the vanity that's against the wall. So like I say, you just lay all these up here, line them up, hold them down. Mark them. All right, and then you lay them out. You got your lines. Obviously, you're going to put the blue tape above the line. I determined not 1/8 of an inch, probably half that, because I don't want a big, it's a small piece. Excuse me, I don't want a big rounded edge. I just want to take the edge off a little bit. So we go ahead and mark those lines. And remember, your tape goes above the line. Perhaps we'll cut that. Remember, these one line above the line. This is where we're going to caulk. You want to seam there. You want to fill that crack. In this case, I don't want to make sure I'm around the edge here. It's a small piece. You're going to do this, and this is going right along the edge. You put the pins down, let it work at that. This sort of stuff. Then line down, pull tight, get the other end down, and I would think that'd be hard stuff sometimes. Sometimes it isn't. Get the pins down there, and the mold is not for shitty. So try to stretch the tape more and make it straighter when you do that. I don't know if you notice, find this wired lav mic. Note to self, a wireless lav mic would be excellent. Excellent investment. Okay, well, good. Trim these, and I'll put those up the sides. Just lay that right along where you want to trim. Oopsie daisies. Hold down good. So I'm going a little bit. Well, that's not good. Well, I don't worry about it. So, I can see where these are going to go. Obviously, these two hands.
Down there. There's my phone. I ran out of space, obviously I had to get rid of some videos. One check out there. Take my phone. I love the ease of it. Use my GoPro this time. Where was the Okay. You got your lines on here. So the, I'm going to load a 16 inch from that light line. Like that. Same way with this one. Reposition this one a little bit. Ready to roll through.
I did want to show you that I went ahead and poured these forms. These are the forms for the, excuse me, the backsplash. The Vanity will be up against the wall on the left-hand side. So that short piece is for that side. And of course, the other one's the backsplash. I put cattle panel in there for reinforcement, just as we did with this one here. But I'm waiting for them to cure. This one I could start taking. It's been 48 hours or better. I could start taking the forms off of this, but I'm not going to. The slower these cure, the better. So, all right, the form has been curing for 3 days now. They say a minimum of 48 hours, so we're beyond that. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the forms, and we'll get to see what kind of, if I did a good job at vibrating this. If there's going to be a few little holes, but it's always exciting to see. So I'm going to uncover it. I cover it in plastic, and cures better that way. So I'm going to go ahead and just start taking off forms. Might have the wrong size bit. I think I do. Yep. I do with that box. I think it's over there. Okay, moment of truth. Carefully slide that out a little bit. Beasts are heavy. Maybe this one will come off easier. Moving. I'm going to try this one on the end. I think that caulk is what's holding at the top is coming loose. The caulk in the form. I'm going to get a screwdriver or chisel or something to pry that a little bit. You can pry wood against wood, but do not pry against the concrete. Okay, like I said, you can pry in between the wood here, but don't be prying against concrete. I just got a nice chisel here, and I'm just going to tap. Yeah, it's the it's that silicone caulk that's holding it. I can see it.
That's good silicone, I'll tell you that much. Hey, I see a few little holes, but not bad. Like I say, you can fill that with slurry if you don't like it. There's one down. Yeah, what's doing? Like I say, just be careful you're not getting your chisel up against any of the there you go. All right, I think this is just a plastic putty knife. Found that if you just kind of get it under here, see, there's still caulk in here, and it's a good caulk. But if you get under that, see. I'm just sliding it. All right, I got it off. Just get this thing. It's a plastic putty knife. Go in. I went into here around all the edges. Got my fingers under it, and it come right up. You can see this form stayed in there. So it'd be probably easier to take that out first, but either way, I'm going to cut that out, and you just basically have to cut it like a piece of pie and start chipping it out of there. Once you get one piece out, it'll come along pretty good. All right, I'm just going to cut some of this out of here so I can get a hold of it. But if you have a knife, something like that, that's actually that's a drywall knife. That's a drywall knife for sure, but pointing isn't very sharp. But if you get a hole started, you can get this down in there and just kind of saw across it. This piece. Be careful around the edge here. Basically want to get a piece out of it. Take a piece of a pie. Stiff putty knife or something. Pull it out. Pie is served. Okay. There you go. There's the tape. Okay, I don't know how long or how much of that you got to see, but you just basically knock a hole in the this here. Got a piece of pie. Start prying it out. Comes right out. And, it looks real good. Looks very good. Where that tape is, that packing tape is so smooth. I love it. Now the next thing is going to be get this Faucet Knockout plug out. Yeah, for this Faucet Knockout, I just ended up taking a flathead screwdriver, kind of pushing it. It's rubber, so it kept pushing around it to loosen it on this end and on the big end down below. And I pushed the screwdriver almost clear through it in the center of this, and just kept kind of working around like that. Just be careful, you got some thin areas here. Excuse me. Worked it around there for 5-10 minutes, and it
popped right out. So on it, I did put. Let me see if I can get it up from here. I did wrap that in black electrical tape and then put paste wax on it. I wish I'd done that on the whole melamine board, on the whole form. I've heard some people do that, but I wish I'd done the whole board. I think it would have come off easier. It wasn't too bad. Paste finishing wax, I don't think that would hurt the finish. You never know though. I'm noticing just where I did a caulk around this 2-inch insulation, this form for the sink, you can see where I wiped it. You can see the streak around it. Looks nice, it's not a big deal. Alright, this is the top view of it. Faucet Knockout back there. See a few little air holes in there. I did spend a decent amount of time vibrating this. For the most part, I am pleased with it, period. But very happy with it. There's the edge of the sink. Here's where my tape was loose a little bit, and I got some concrete under the form. I can sand that down, but if you can see, that is so smooth where we have that packing tape. See how you can see just like right in here where I was very careful to clean that caulk around there, but you still see it. One thing I forgot to mention, once you're done screeding and leveling your concrete in the forms, when you're ready to let it cure, cover it with plastic. That slows down the curing process, makes for stronger concrete. I even came out and every so often, this is in here the 3rd day, but come in here every so often just with a spray bottle, just misted it a little bit. Just like that, hit that, and then cover it up. Did the same thing with the Vanity top over there. I've actually got it out of the forms now, but I've kept it moist and covered just as it cures. But I'm going to start polishing it today. I'm going to use a wet polisher. It actually turned out really nice. I think I showed you before, but we're going to, decent day outside, so I'm going to take it outside, use the wet polisher. I recommend if you do use a wet polisher, put some rain gear on or something you don't mind getting wet and a little soiled. I'm going to go ahead and take these backsplashes out of their forms. It's been 3 days actually, pretty close to 3 days. So I'm going to go ahead and take the forms off. Same way we did with the other one, we'll just take the Alright, there's everything out of their forms. Backsplashes you can see are a little darker. That's just because they haven't cured as long as the Vanity top. But they were made out of the same bag, same mix, all that. So they should come out to the same color. Alright. Using a wet polisher with a 400 grit polishing pad on there. I'm going to do 400 for a while and then go up to 800. That's probably as high as they'll go, but these will go clear to 3,000, I think. Anyway, I'm going to polish it up a little bit.
After your vanity top and backsplashes are dry, that's what they'll look like dry, you need to put a sealer on it. I've never tried Tough Duck concrete countertop sealer yet, so that's what we're going to try to do, and it tells you to apply it with a microfiber pad soaked in this. Also says to shake it real well. And so we'll pour a little bit in here since I don't have a microfiber pad. Soak the rag in this, and then we're going to apply it. I'm going to pour a little in here. And then we'll just start, I'm going to do the sides first, the edges. We'll go ahead and, no, I want to do the top first. This will probably darken it a lot, or I don't know about a lot, but it'll darken it. And that's fine by me. I like it darker, actually. I'm just going to do the sides that are going to be, well, I don't know. Just protect it. Maybe I'll just seal them all. Why not? Take a second or two. So yeah, I'm going to. We'll put some on that side, even though it's not going to be seen. That looks nice. Make sure you get it covered. I'm going back and forth in both directions just to make sure we're getting everything. Make sure there's no runs. If you like this video and like these kind of projects, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. And in the next short video, I'm going to show you the finished product. Thanks for watching.